Yeah.
Hello.
We're in a new place today.
Yes. Temporary change of scenery because somebody is sleeping.
Yep.
Our usual guest is sleeping on the couch.
Yep.
And who are you? That's right. What's your name? That's right. And how old are you? That's right. So Simcha Shalom is usually sleeping when we make our videos first thing in the morning.
Yep.
But today he is awake and Zivi's asleep. So that's so silly. So you're going to listen and see what we're talking about?
Okay.
So an interesting situation you were talking to me about yesterday. This is such an awkward angle.
Well, you've got the sun in like a
It's
really,
okay.
really, really weird place.
Yeah.
It looks good on me.
Yeah, of course. I'm in the flat couch here. All right. Anyway, so you were talking about upgrades versus updates.
Oh boy.
Yes. Which is very interesting.
We're
'cause
going
I
there.
never really thought about that.
Oh my. Okay.
Because you were saying that came up with somebody, and I was like, I've actually never really heard of that situation. So
Okay. Here we go. We're going into the deep end.
okay, that's
All right.
fine.
So there's operating systems. You know what an operating system is, right?
Yes,
Okay. What's an operating system?
it's kind of like the overall, I guess, like the overarching program that's running on a computer.
Cool. So
Yeah.
within the operating systems, they go and they say OS 1, OS 11, OS whatever, right? So that's the operating system. Whenever that number goes up one, so if it goes from OS 11 to OS 12, it's been upgraded.
And same with like the 0.1 and 0.0.
No, that's
Okay.
an update.
Okay, well that's why we're talking about this.
Yes. So if it's 11.1, that means that there's been an update to operating system 11,
Okay, so it's not a whole new operating system, but it's like the same one with tweaks.
fixing bugs and stuff.
Okay.
Now, if it's 11.1.1, it means that they fix some bugs in the 0.1.
Okay.
Right. So if it goes 11.1.1, 11.1.2, 11.1.3, which means that in the 0.1 update, they fixed a bunch of things
What?
that maybe the 0.1 broke.
Okay.
But if they decide that they're going to make something a little bit more of an update, but they're not changing the system, they're just like maybe tweaking something. Maybe they decide to, I don't know, allow you to write a message using pictures instead of words, and they're not really changing the operating system, then they might go to 11.2.
Okay.
Now, typically, when they do these things, when they first announce that these operating systems are happening, they announce all these new features that are coming. But if those features aren't available at launch, then typically when they release those new features that they promised at the beginning of the year, they usually use 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. But if those features break something, then it becomes 0.3, 0.1.
This is like a disaster.
It drives you crazy. So as long as you do updates, updates are fine. They're gonna keep. They're just gonna go and make the system better. I love how it turns you. That's here. Try tapping on your picture. By the way, it'll probably just tap on it. Just tap on it. There you go. And then just the sun.
I mean, it's
just
not working.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know how to fix that now. I was like, really,
Yeah, swipe it up. Swipe it up. Swipe it up.
This is just wrong.
This is fun.
I was just about to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, about updates, we always wait to update things, right?
We wait to upgrade.
Right. This is why we're talking about this. Right, because if they're like system update, I always wait. Personally, I always wait as long as I can.
Yeah.
So they work out all the bugs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care too much about updates.
Right. Although updates can mess things up too, right?
Right, but I don't care about updates that are like in the third digit. If it's 11.1.1, and they come out with 11.1.2, I'll be like, fine, I'll update.
Yeah.
If they come out with 11.2, let's just say, then I'd sit there and I'd be like, okay, let me just look at the news stories and see, is there anything that this broke?
So in other words, once you start seeing those extra numbers added on, you kind of want to ask questions.
Right. But if you're seeing a whole brand new number
Mm-hmm.
where it's gone from 11 to 12
Mm-hmm.
as the very first digit,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, if I upgrade my system,
Mm-hmm.
then that means everything that I know on how to use this device will no longer function the way that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
Where in 11, you might have swiped up and down, and in 12, they took away the up and down swipe and they made it left to right because they felt that was better.
Interesting.
But then you have to deal with that change because you can't get back the original.
And you have a choice of when you like do this upgrade thing, or
Kind of.
okay,
Because you're going to get pestered like crazy
Yeah,
to
right.
upgrade.
right?
But it's up to you to recognize, oh, that's an upgrade and not an update. Where it's like, I took a while to upgrade my iPad
Yeah,
and my phone's glitching like crazy.
right. Mm-hmm.
You still haven't upgraded your device yet,
Right.
and we're still waiting on that.
Yeah.
But
Although
I
feel
have the
like
newer
it's,
features
yeah, I feel like it's never really telling me though. You need to upgrade. I get like update.
because I clicked on a button that said ignore.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right. But it's like, yeah, because you can go and you can say, oh, I don't care about the upgrades. I care more about the actual updates.
Right. So to sum that up, basically, the upgrades are the more you
Ro-
know they have a bigger change. The updates are like a smaller change.
Typically, when an upgrade happens, like sometimes these companies will announce 260 brand new things.
Mm-hmm.
And with an update, it'll be like, we did some changes that had to do with security.
Right. So
Like it won't be this whole like fanfare of, hey, press, look at what we did.
yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like when an upgrade comes in, you want to change it sooner. What am I missing here?
When an upgrade comes in,
Yes.
you want to look at the news stories
Right.
over the next 2 to 3 weeks and see if people are complaining
Mhm.
about their devices, their previous old devices no longer working because they upgraded.
Right. But the same with an update, frankly, right?
Technically, but there's
But
less.
it's not as big of a deal.
That's usually not. That doesn't happen very often.
Right.
That's very rare
Yeah.
because updates is using the already existing infrastructure.
Right.
Upgrades it's as if you had a car that was red
Right. Right.
and now you have a car that's blue,
Yeah.
and
Like
essentially
you turned a Honda into a Toyota.
right, exactly. And you're like, all the internals that were in there are now working differently.
So basically, in both cases, proceed with caution. To some extent, but more so with an upgrade.
With an upgrade, proceed with caution,
Yes.
because the thing is that with upgrades, a lot of times these software upgrades
Mhm.
are utilizing software that is more specified to the latest hardware.
Yeah.
And if your hardware is older, your hardware can't compete with whatever's the latest. So as a result, you feel like your phone has slowed down.
Yeah.
It never slowed down. It just can't handle the software.
This is so complicated. What?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's not, but it is. I mean, I think of like, somebody like me, I just want the thing to work. Right? Like, I don't have time to be like, oh my God, like my system is like changing itself on me and what do I do now? Like, I just need to be able to sit down every morning and do my work.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. So some people go and they say, if you go and you keep upgrading your system, you're not going to need to go and buy a new phone every year
Right.
because you essentially have the features of the new phone.
Right.
But eventually, there's going to come a point where that upgrade no longer will be able to work with your phone, and you're going to have to buy a new phone.
Yeah. What a mess.
Right. And sometimes some of the upgrades that you do, you might notice that your device gets really slow, in which case you have to go into the settings, find the new features that were just added, and disable those features so that way your phone works more like it did beforehand. If you don't upgrade
Just
at
a
some
headache.
point, then your device is a security risk.
So, what would you tell somebody if you were to make this really concise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, their device is throwing all kinds of like, you need to upgrade, you need to update at me,
Yep.
at them, and like, what would you tell them in a concise
Number
piece of advice?
number one, are you happy with the way your phone is working now?
Okay.
That's question number one.
All right. Question number 2.
Question number two is that is there anything you're trying to download that it is not allowing you to download because those application manufacturers no longer support your device?
Okay. Question number 3.
Has it been longer than a year, and are you fearful of
You mean longer than a year since your last upgrade?
since your last upgrade, and are you fearful of security, hackers, viruses,
Yeah.
etc.,
Mm-hmm.
that could result from you not being on the latest software?
Okay.
Other than that,
Oh, you're right. You didn't just kind of cheap like us. You just have to use your imagination. I guess it has one wheel. That's pretty cool. Imagine if a car could drive with one wheel. Try it.
Elon Musk is working on it.
Try it. I know, I can't tape it though, and it's plastic, so it's hard to glue. I'm sorry. Use your imagination. See what you can come up with. How about this? Look, let's use our imaginations. Maybe this is like a steering wheel, and there's like a little seat here, so a person can sit there and like drive their steering wheel. Or you could like put this on top, or you can make like a double wheel, and they could both spin at the same time. Oh, use your imagination. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, Sally.
Anyway,
That's complicated.
right. So I basically had a client that I had them all set up.
Yeah.
I upgraded their system to the level that their computer could handle.
Mm-hmm.
Got their webcam working, got everything working,
Mm-hmm.
and then they upgraded further.
Yeah.
And then they called me back a week later, telling me that the computer's slow, and and it's like there's you can't go backwards.
It just sounds like a giant mess. I mean, I feel like the moral of the situation is like, you know, like ask yourself the questions you just asked.
Yeah.
Right? Follow that advice. Worst comes to worst, you know, at least there are people like you or like an Apple store or something who can
Right, but
advise you further.
more than likely the Apple Store is gonna say trade it in
Right.
for an upgrade,
Which
for an
doesn't
up
really
for
help you.
for a new device.
Right.
So if you're gonna click the upgrade button, you also have to consider: are you willing to trade in your device for a newer device?
What a mess. Such a mess.
But if you don't fully understand the
Right,
system,
and how is anybody supposed to understand the system? I mean, once again, most people are like me. They just want the thing to work, right?
yep,
And they don't have time for all this, like, mental
gymnastics.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, well, and anyway, we're already at like 12-something minutes, so if you have found yourself in this situation,
Mhm.
what do you do? Well, how can somebody reach you if they, like, have a question about this?
Yeah, 707-267-7778
Mhm.
or techie-to-the-rescue.com. But I have to warn you, if you've already upgraded and your system's already slow, there's very little I'm
Mhm.
going to be able to do except mourn with you and try to figure out how to salvage as much as possible from
What
that
a mess.
device.
Talking is such a mess.
Like literally,
Yeah.
I was texting you and saying, I literally feel like I'm at a morning
Yeah.
event where we're just like saying, here lies this machine that got way too old
Yeah.
before its time. When it could have, it had so much more available to it.
It's just messed up.
Yeah. But yeah.
Happens to all of us from time to time.
Mm-hmm. Final words?
Anything else you want to say? You what? Say it nice and loud so the camera can hear you.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I think that sums it up because people just don't know.
I know. That really is a moral of this.
Yeah, good.
I mean,
That
I
is-
feel like from what you explained, I understand it better. But like, I still feel like if I was to end up in that position,
Mhm.
I would just feel like, you know, thank God you're here to solve it for me because I
Yeah.
don't even know what I would do.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you can say bye. Ah!